All right, the next thing we need to do is our character looking around looks very robotic. And there's a lot of things going on. So I do have the spine actually twisting. We could see, like, if you rotate that, as well as the hips themselves, you can see are actually changing and moving a little bit. But she's very much stuck, and she's not doing any dips. There's no arcing motion. So if we're going to go in, let's get some, start adding some frames. So I just did it at 60, which is kind of a slow one um, here. But we'll do this to illustrate this. So I'm going to go to frame 30. And we got to get a middle position for her. What position is she in? And if I look at her, like, well, first we could see there's a few positions we need to adjust because when people go and look, they don't lift their hands straight up like this. They may come out in an arcing motion. They may go forward and then come back, but they don't just go straight up and down because it's just not natural, right? So when we get to the frame 30, the one in the middle, we have to decide, where is that? How'd that go up there? So it was already up there. So if I went to, like, let's say frame 30 and moved this, let's go W left mouse. I want to go to world position. So I'm going to move the hand forward, press S. Let's just see what that looks like. It's better. Let's try it a little bit further forward. Press S. And let's just move this hand now. Maybe we'll move it back. Have it not penetrate. Also, let's lift this up a little bit. So basically I'm trying to get a arcing motion with this arm. And I can exaggerate that even further if I want to, just so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. And you can see it rolling now. And if I look at it from the top, might also have it kind of go out. Yes. That looks a little better, rather than just that straight up and down. And then we look at that other hand. What's this guy doing? Now, one big thing also, before I start getting into this, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, is, and actually it's a good thing because I want to show you something. So let's say we forgot something. What should happen? Not just the arms should arc, but we should have a little bit of a dip of the head and the pelvis. So that she's here, kind of extended, drops down a little bit, and then pops back up to emphasize. So that means when I go to here, in the center, I might grab and give a little bit more of a dip here. Out, pull you in, press S. Now you notice it just might work actually, but it's a little bit of a hiccup right here, just with this part. And that's because of this keyframe where I was adjusting the hand, and that's because I had the character set on. Now if I go to the graph editor, and we select only that pelvis, the root, and we look at the translate Y, we can see right here, this is where it goes back up when it hits and stays there. And it's a little too abrupt. Maybe I want that to be more consistent. I can edit. This is that key right here, but just on this attribute. So, what would happen if I just got rid of that one key and pressed delete? So I keep all the other information on all the other parts. I just got rid of that one, and now we have a smoother, you can see we have a smoother thing going on. That's a little better. And we'll do something like that. Similar, let's use this for the head as well. Let's grab these guys, rotate them down a little. Once again, on those guys, it's the rotate X that I adjusted. That I know that because that's the only thing I've keyed or manipulated. So when I move it up and down, you see it's only the X. So that's where we go, oh, rotate X, and there's both of them highlighted. So once again, I could select just those two, grab that one, and I could either delete it or grab the handles and manipulate it. That actually I kind of like. So this is how I start to edit inside of the graph editor. And after I've done my first few passes, and I'm just showing you the process and getting these arcing motions that are going to give me more detail. And I can always go in and tweak them out. So for this hand, I think I want to do something different where I can go, maybe this hand came out to here. Oh, maybe we'll keep it like that. And now we can see that this is starting to look a lot more. I still would have to make more changes. but I'm getting a much smoother animation. Maybe now I'll do a little bit of arcing motion here as well. And I'll just move this forward a little bit while she's doing that dip. Once again, because I jumped ahead a little bit and started tweaking things out without getting the base animation, I have a little bit of an extra. We could see that's on the translate Z. And there it is there. So let's modify that a little bit. And we'll see that we can smooth this out a little bit more. So as I go back and I start doing all these extra passes, that's when I start to get, you notice I'm still not really worried about the fingers and stuff and those finite details yet. And it's not like I won't start adding them very soon, or I may want to if there's a big resounding change. But I can go in and delete out or manipulate certain keys of what I'm trying to do inside of the graph editor to get things a little bit smoother. And maybe right here, I'll grab her spine, kind of bend her forward a little bit on that middle. And I continue that process on of adding those details in. Her weight is over the supporting leg. Her weight is over the supporting leg. Her weight is suspended between both legs, even though I'm exaggerating her coming forward a little bit. Then you just start to, and if I start to see like, oh wait, it's not right there, it's not moving back the way it should. Okay, let's see what is going on in the graph editor. Right about there. And then I start to tweak that based off of that. And what angle I'm looking at. I can always see which direction. This is the XYZ. Select it. Shift middle mouse with the move tool on. Move things up and down. Not left to right, because then you're going to offset it and then it'll look like you have more frames. So if I start off to the right and move it, you see now I have this, it moved it over there. That's better. So that's basically how you start to get that. And you just work your way through adding those details in. Let me know if you have any questions. And remember, keep looking at your reference or get up and start to look at what you're doing in there. And if you want to go for a more cartoony sort of a, you know, kind of posture with your characters, remember that you can extend and let's do this. Let's just go here. And then maybe right for this one, I would extend this one out. Center of gravity. And now this little frame is working well because this is where the feet are frozen. And I don't want to hyperextend those legs too much. I still want to bend. There we go. And pushing off to move the other leg. Arcing motion for the head, dipping down. Arcing motions with the hands. Oops, and we forgot to get this one a little bit more. So as this one is going, and once again, let's take this hand where it looks like it freezes just a little bit, and that'll be the last thing. So now we just look at the translates, and we kind of play. What's this one doing? I like that. And that's it. So play with that and continue to add. We're doing arcing motions, in betweens, so that we have transitionals. If you want to anticipate a little bit more, you can even have the head start to turn a little bit like it's trying to look over there first, which goes into a little bit more of anticipation in the body following the head. And that is it. Try that out. Continue to animate your character, adding layers of detail so that you can get a really good animation.